This is Out of the Blue. I'm Brian Leggett.
I'm Tara Leggett.
And we are...
It is Marriage Monday.
Talking about Marriage Monday. On today's lineup, we are going to be covering quite a few interesting topics.
First things, apologizing for missing Family Friday on our first week. Friday was my 25th birthday. So,
Your what? Oh, okay.
It's my 25th birthday. And so we were out, and not that we weren't with family all day Friday, we were with family all weekend, but we weren't recording. So, but anyways, today for Marriage Monday, we're going to go over a couple of things. Let me pull up my notes.
Heard these notes, man.
Okay, he gave us an outline the first Marriage Monday, but okay. So we're going to do a recap of last week. Last week was our first week with our cleaning service and how that went. Then we're going to go over something that I saw on Facebook sometime last week. One of my friends had posted an interesting question, so we're going to get some feedback on that. And then we're going to talk about the main topic for today, which is our feelings about future birth control, since we just had our daughter Vivian. She's 2.5 months old. And this guy right here has been talking about permanent measures, but they haven't been taken yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about how that makes us feel and why. But I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so the first one, the cleaning lady, they did an amazing job.
Kudos to them.
Yes, so we actually decided to go ahead and make all of that official, and they're going to be coming weekly to handle like the big stuff, kind of take a lot of the load off Tara so she can focus more on the kids, focus more on doing whatever she wants to do with her life. And when I come home, I don't have to worry about, putting added pressure on her as far as like just stuff being clean, stuff being done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I do feel like that was a good move, and I'm happy with it. And I was actually talking to one of my friends today who had suggested his parents get a cleaning service, if not every other week, like once a month. And I suggested, man. I know it kind of like it's so outside of our norm and outside of our upbringing to be like, yeah, we should get a cleaning service. We should have people come and clean our house, because when I was growing up, that's what we did every Saturday morning. Like, you get up, you clean the whole house, and that was your deep clean. But honestly, man, in today's world, I don't know, if everybody else is kind of in the same boat as us, but it's like go, 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 go. When we do have free time, it is not trying to be spent like that. And I enjoy cleaning. I enjoy, the immediate response of having something be clean. So anyway, I do suggest, if you are looking or even thought about it, just try it out. And even if it's something that you don't commit to long term, once a month, it's worth it, I feel like.
Yeah, if we didn't have LB, like once a month would be more than it. But I mean, Brian is very picky. Like, for me, I just want it to be clean. Brian wants it to be clean and like show ready, like we are still in the house, like not a streak on the floor. Perfectly clean. So, and I'm not saying he's wrong for that, especially if it's something that we are, investing in. But I was kind of nervous, like, are they going to clean it up to what he wanted? So
I was already ready to have a talk.
Yeah, I mean, he was ready to complain before they got here.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
I was actually going over in my head, how am I going to approach when I need to say this is not up to par? I was already ready and having that conversation, like getting prepared for it in my mind. So the fact that I did not have to have that conversation, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and like by the time, so when they got here, they were like, okay, well, where are your cleaning supplies? Y'all, listen, last time my house was deep cleaned, it was by my sister when I was in labor. Like, I have not, I had a pretty bad tear when I had Vivian, so I was down and out for quite a few weeks. Like, I wasn't even fully healed at 6 weeks, so I have not clean this house at all. Like, I mean, if something spills, I clean it up, but that's it. So this is how I knew we needed a cleaning service. Like, I knew we made the right move when she was like, okay, where are your cleaning supplies? And I was like, what? Like, I'm like looking in the house to find out where the stuff is. So that is how out of touch I am. Like, I'm like, I don't even know where I clean stuff. And I'm like, what supplies do you mean? Like, what do you want? You want bleach? You want? And they're just like, oh, just everything. And I'm like, okay, like searching around the house for it. So I get them the supplies that we have. Me and LV are downstairs while they're cleaning upstairs. Like, immediately the house starts smelling clean. Like, when somebody is cleaning with stuff, you know, you can smell the supplies. So I was like, this was probably a good idea. We don't have a huge house. I mean, we live in Kentucky. So, like, if you're watching this and you live in New York and or California, we have a huge house. But in Kentucky, we don't have a huge house. But I'd say they were here 3 hours. And
but I think that's because it was an initial clean.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be 3 hours.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if we had like 1,000 square foot house, that would be 1 hour. You know, like we have a little over 3,000 square foot home, and they were here 3 hours. So I don't think that was awful. But at the same time, it was 2 ladies, and I could not even think about setting aside 6 hours to have cleaned this house. Like, I can't even imagine having that time while breastfeeding, while dealing with LB, while trying to do this, like editing these videos and stuff. I just can't imagine having that time, and even if I have had it, not wanting to like use it to catch up on sleep or, you know, catch up together, talk, like doing this.
So what you're saying is this was an amazing Mother's Day present.
It was. It really was. Y'all, you have been killing it.
Right.
You've been killing it.
What? Thank you.
Like Mother's Day, my birthday, all just been killing it. So, but anyways, like as soon as they got like halfway through cleaning, I was already texting my homegirl, like, listen, my house ain't never been this clean, and they're not done yet. Like, they're cleaning stuff I hadn't even thought of cleaning. Like, they were in the windows, cleaning the windows. I'm like, yo, like, I ain't pulled up these blinds, like, pulled them up. You know, not just open them.
All right, next topic. Next topic. Anyway, cleaning service went great.
Inside the microwave, clean.
It was spectacular. Yeah.
Dusted. So. It was amazing. It was a weight off my shoulders.
I'm happy with it.
Okay.
I don't care. As long as I come home and stuff is clean, I don't care. I don't care who does it or how it gets done. Just get it done.
Well, initially I was feeling like I would feel like less of a woman or less of a wife. But then when I walked in and my house was clean like that, I literally, all them feelings went out the door. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I don't care how it got like this. I'm just happy that it's like this.
Yeah.
All right, that's the next topic. I'm scrolling through Facebook the other day. A friend of mine, I would say her name, but I did not ask her. So if she sees this and wants to comment and say, yo, that was me, say it. But she had made a post, and I don't have it pulled up word for word, but it basically said, an unpopular opinion, she does not believe in the girl code. And basically that if a man and a woman are in a relationship but not married, she feels like, from her standpoint, that man is still approachable. If she were to start to develop feelings for him, be interested in him, she could still tell him as long as they're not married. Even if they are living together, even if they're living together and have kids, if they are not married, if you're not married, you're single. And a lot of people were sharing their opinions on that, and we got to talking about it and thought it would be something interesting to talk about on Marriage Monday. And the standpoint that she was kind of coming at it from was, if the situation was flipped, if it was a man who had an interest in a woman who was cohabitating but not married yet, and he wanted to approach her, possibly date her, and in his mind he had marriage on the mind eventually, that it wouldn't be looked at as negatively for him to do that. But where she is a woman and would do that, it's kind of considered like a negative thing. So
the question was, if a guy is dating somebody but not married, is it okay to still shoot your shot?
And yeah, so not to like hassle him and continuously throw yourself at him, but just say, hey, like, I'm starting to develop some feelings. I feel like we should go on a date or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
so what's your opinion on it? Do you feel like it's okay?
I believe in treating other people the way I wanted to be treated. So I am, I mean, I don't know. So disclaimer, I met Brian when I was 18. At the time I did have a boyfriend, he apparently did not care.
That is not true.
He did not care. Boyfriend disappeared. Poof. He was terrible anyway. And we've been together. We had like a 6-month period where we weren't together that whole time. So I don't know adult dating. I don't know that. It's not something I have had an experience with, which is kind of probably a topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I want to talk about it anyway. I feel like there's a line somewhere, and I don't really feel like that line has to be marriage. You know, like I feel like it. First of all, if a guy is living with a woman and they got kids and they're in a relationship, I'm not going to approach him because I feel like you're not the type of man I want to be with. If you would sit there and play house, then I don't want you to move and play house over here, you know? And I know there are people that are going to be like, well, if you won't let him, he won't. But the fact that he would even feel comfortable doing that, I do judge that character. So I would say no there. But then also, even if, you know, they're not playing house, but they've been dating and they're kind of on their way towards considering engagement, marriage, like, or if they are engaged, I feel like somebody should decide that they want to be single before I am saying, hey, well, maybe you want to be with me. Like, I don't think you should be a relationship partner. That's just my opinion. I also don't know what I'm talking about.
So wait, so your opinion is...
If you can't decide that you would rather be single, you know, like, it kind of seems cowardly to say, oh, you know, I'm waiting for the next best thing. You know, like, don't use somebody as a placeholder until you find somebody better.
But I think the situation, what if it's a situation to where they are on the track toward marriage, but just not there? Is it still okay for you to shoot your shot then?
I kind of don't feel like it because...
You don't feel like it is okay, or you feel like it is okay?
I don't feel like it's okay.
Okay.
I don't feel like it's okay. But then I also don't know if that is just my own bias from how I was raised, men versus women, because, you know, there's plenty of movies, right, where like a woman's about to get married to some guy and then some other guy sweeps her on her
world?
feet. Oh, yeah. So there's a different world where you bust up the wedding. I have my own feelings about that now as an adult, and that was probably not the best thing and not what we should have been idolizing. But
baby,
still,
please,
yeah,
baby, please.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we were watching that episode, you was like, "You never said that to me." It's like, no, gosh, somebody's getting married.
That's a story for another day because
I mean but take that.
Yeah, so like we idolize stuff like that. That's romantic and that's beautiful. But when a woman does it, it's like, oh man, what a homewrecker. So I don't know, and I know that logically, but I still can't shake the feeling of like, oh, that's icky. I don't really want to be hanging out with somebody that's going to be running up on somebody else's man. Like, so
for me, soon as Tara brought this to my attention, the first thing I said was, I believe
I'm
in
Mr.
karma.
Steal Your Girl.
No.
And I've done it, and that's what you said.
No. I believe in karma. And I hope nobody kids is watching this, but whenever I did meet Tara and she did have that boyfriend, she was like, oh, so I'm good enough for you to try to get with me, but I'm not good enough for you to try to date me. And I was like, yeah.
He was making inappropriate propositions to me.
I'm just saying, it was college.
But he did not ever ask to take me out anywhere.
Right. So I didn't feel like it was right to...
logical.
It's not, but it's just like, guys understand this. Like, no, I'm not going to date you. You're dating somebody else, but can we hook up?
No.
You know, it's just a different world. Anyway.
It is not a different
world. But I feel like as soon as she asked me, I said, I believe in karma. I don't want to like put that out there. So if it was me and I'm sitting here and I know this person is in a committed relationship,
you just want to have sex
I'm not going to shoot my shot because I don't feel like I don't want somebody shooting their shot at my
So
girl,
you weren't going to shoot your shot, but you were going to shoot the club up. Like, come on.
Well, that was then. This is now.
Okay,
I've
so
grown
now,
up.
as an
I've
adult,
grown up.
because you got to look at it from an adult standpoint.
Yeah.
I was a teenager.
Right.
You were 30.
But now, I wouldn't do that. Just because I feel like out of respect for what they got going on and what they're trying to build, I would let it be known that I am interested, but I'm not going to put it out there and like almost like put pressure on her to decide.
Well, see, and that was kind of what she said. She, like, when I read it, the initial status seemed like, I'm coming for your man. Right. And I was like, okay, you're going to get beat up. Like, I can't be friends with you. I cannot be fighting somebody's girlfriend because you're getting jumped. But in the conversation, she said that it would be something as simple as just saying, I have these feelings. This is how I feel. Do what you want with it.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, it is complicated, and I feel like it's something that people would, it can't be like a blanket rule for it. But also, it's just like you said when we were talking about it, people that think like that often don't draw the line at marriage.
Right.
They will look for an excuse to justify coming for anybody.
Yeah.
And,
because if you're okay with, like, don't get it twisted. I kind of do believe that if you're not married, you're single.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there are lines, like you said, there are lines that are a line of commitment, you know, that once you cross that line of commitment, you're on the fast track to get married. And if I ain't coming down the aisle, baby, please, then I ain't going to be in that situation, right? Now, if I feel that strongly about you and about, like, I feel like he is the wrong man for you and I am the right man for you and we got a future together and all this, like he felt, like Dwayne was in there like, baby, please. Okay. And if I ain't on that level, then I wouldn't do it.
I just can't relate, I guess, to that one because also I feel like people get caught up in their feelings and don't think about the consequences too. Like, especially if you're talking about somebody that's living with somebody and got kids, and say you have feelings and y'all start exploring that, he leaves her and get together. You don't think them kids gonna find out? Like, how you think their life is really gonna be?
Right.
Because stepmom life is already hard. You don't want to add no drama to it.
That's true. So I told
so
you.
there's levels to this.
Right.
I'm not married yet stuff.
So we were talking about a vasectomy, right?
Oh,
and right. And so
I was not talking about a vasectomy. That's you were talking.
All right.
About.
So all right. The reason I said there's irony in it.
Oh, okay.
Today, you had to go and get cleaning supplies for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And so. I think Dominique posted in one of our groups. There's a guy, he's a comedian. He does United Shades of America. He's actually doing a special right now. I think it might be going off right now. But it's a special on CNN about him publicly getting his vasectomy and why, with all of the stuff going on in Alabama about how it's so wrong for people to get abortions, he was taking it from the approach of, you guys are sitting here telling these women that you're going against God, you're going against this, you're killing these fetuses. But for me to take away my ability to create life, my insurance covers it. You know, it's like, he was like, nobody says anything about it. Nobody says like, there's no pause in it. It's just like, are you sure? All right, cool. This is our process.
Also, it's significantly easier for you to go get a vasectomy than it would be for me to get my tubes tied because I'm so young. Yeah. Very, very young.
But I don't think
much younger than you.
I don't think that was his point. His point is...
But I mean, even if you take the abortion out of it, women don't have as many choices for permanent birth control as men do because they're going to ask me if... a lot of doctors will make sure that your husband is okay with it before they do it. They want to make sure you're at least a certain age, usually it's over 30, and at least have 2 children. Whereas if anybody wants a vasectomy, like, they're like, yeah, sure, snip, snip.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that it's so different.
That's why I said it was kind of an irony. So, like, because as you, like, right after you left, Dominique sent that to the group, and I was looking at it, and I actually... I was looking at the preview of it and I was like, wow, okay. So obviously this is something that needs to be talked about. So the vasectomy. One of the things that we've talked about is ever since we have been together, you've been on birth control, some form of birth control, with the exceptions of the time that we were actually trying to have, which I'm very efficient. Ain't no trying with me.
We were not trying to have Vivian.
One shot, one
he
kill.
Was trying. I was not trying.
I'm very efficient.
That second line on that pregnancy test almost gave me a heart attack. And he was just like, well.
Anyway, so, but for 10 years, you've been the one that has kind of protected the family from unwanted or, whatever. And so, but I don't feel like it's right to continue to ask you to do that, especially with all of the health concerns that come along with birth control. There's a lot more risk that comes to you when you take a pill versus me getting this done and actually, deciding, all right, I'm done, right? So that's one part of it, is the health concerns. Another part of it is the responsibility of protecting the family from growing too much, right?
Protecting the family from intruders.
I really do feel like you can get too big as a family, like every kid's a blessing. However, if we add another one, I don't know mentally if I can take it. Like my eyes just keep getting lower and lower with these kids. So, so one is health, other is responsibility. And the third reason why I'm pro for doing it is I do feel like in my heart of hearts that I'm done. Right? Would I love to have another son? Yes. However, do I ever want to go through all of this again? I don't know. I'm good. I'm done. Like, I feel like I've put 3 beautiful, amazing kids into this world that are going to like grow up and truly affect this world in somehow, some manner. And I just feel like I'm good. Like I'm done. Like I've done my part.
So for me,
I'm done.
I feel differently because.
Well, give your pros first, and then we'll
my
talk
pros,
about cons. Yeah.
Just not having the. Oh my gosh, what's today's date?
Yeah.
Like, let me take a test.
Yeah,
Those scary moments.
The pull out.
Like,
that's too much.
It's actually.
Sorry.
I don't think that's the official name for it.
Well,
but,
I mean, we grow.
I mean, we also did cycle tracking when I was not on birth control. Brian is not good with dates, and that is why Vivian is here.
Not really. Not really. Your body skipped a period, and it was awful weak.
Are you really going to blame this temple?
Yes.
That brought Vivian into the world?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Anywho. But that's the pro to me. Honestly, postpartum is not a good time for me. We don't live near family. We do not have the support of somebody that just comes and stays with us the whole time postpartum. Brian is never going to take more than a week off after I have a baby. It's really hard for me. Pregnancy is tough on me. And even though I pushed through this one, I worked out the whole time, and I did have the natural birth I wanted. Healing is just hard, and emotionally it's hard. And I know that it's hard on the family because I am the primary caregiver for the kids. And when I'm down and out and daddy still has to go to work, it's just tough. And I don't really know if I want to go through that again. So, and I mean, it's hard because right now it's like, so this is my cons. Right now I'm in the thick of it. Right now the postpartum healing time is right in my rear view. Like I'm just getting to the point, well, not just, but probably in the past month where I could work out like I wanted to, where I could be up on my feet as much as I wanted to, where I could, just feel normal. So, what if after another month, it was just 3 months of it being tough, and I do want more kids? Because, I mean, I feel like we're done, and then we watch Blackish, and I'm like, what if we need to have 5 kids?
Yeah, but you know what Blackish has?
A doctor,
a very
and
good
a
support
VP,
system,
and they have their parents living with them. I get it.
You know?
They have a lot different situation,
Yeah.
but it's really hard for me to say that we're done. And then also from Brian's point of view, he has 3 children, 3 biological children. Not that I don't count my stepdaughter as my child, but by the time we got married, she was 5. And she's on her way out the door, you know. She's 12. I feel like I blinked my eyes and she was 12. Before I know it, she'll be 18. So I do feel like there's some difference there too. Like I haven't had the newborn experience 3 times to where I'm scarred for life from it. I've only had it twice. So
You done? So my cons, close your ears. So I recently experienced a pretty dramatic moment with LB. And whenever I first started thinking about the whole vasectomy portion of it, the one thing I kept going back to is, well, what if we need to make another one? Not want to, but need to make another one. And so in that moment, it just hit me, was like, anyway, one of our friends experienced a pretty tragic death of their child. And thank God they were able to conceive again. And it doesn't heal it, it doesn't fix it, but it did, I feel like it helped them move forward. And, you know, they still work to keep the child that passed, his honor and his name alive and everything. So he's not forgotten. And there's a lot of stuff that goes toward donations and everything that will help people in their situation. But I do feel like them being able to have another child helped them heal from that. And I get to thinking about how fragile life can be and how hard it is to get it into this world, but how fast it can be taken away from us. And in that moment, I think about, am I really seriously sure about not being able to do that? You know, because a lot of my I'm done with this comes from exhaustion. It comes from just like, I mean, there's a lot of weight on, I'm gonna be personal. There's a lot of weight on my shoulders. I carry a lot of weight. I carry a lot of stuff, not just from the family, but a lot of people around me. And so at times when it's that heavy already, and then there's no support. Like I talked to my mom about this a little bit, and I don't mean this in a bad way. You know, I don't mean this in a way to where they should feel a type of way, because we all got our lives, right? We all made our decisions. We all made our choices. But, you know, in making those choices, and I actually talked to this stranger at Chick-fil-A about this one day, and I told her that
there's no strangers at Chick-fil-A.
True.
We're all God's people.
True, God's chicken. I told her that one of the biggest mistakes that her generation made, because she was my mom's age, I told her one of the biggest mistakes that her generation made was they pushed us all to go to college. And it was like, that's your they made it moment when all of your kids go to college. But I'm gonna tell you what happened from that. You go to college, and most times you go away to college, you go away to school. And then when you go away, you get to experience a whole new way of life, and you get to experience all these things that you've never even seen or thought of before. And a lot of people in my generation didn't go back home. And when we don't go back home, it almost eliminates Big Mama, right? Like for me growing up, we didn't really have daycare. We didn't have any of that. Everybody just went to Big Mama's house. Me, my brother, my sister, my cousins, like we just all went to Big Mama's house, and we all grew up together. But
I went to my grandma's house.
Exactly. It's not like that anymore. Like even when we first moved to Lexington, and even in Morgantown, whenever we tried daycare and that wasn't it, so we went and found us a big mama.
LB always went to in-home daycare.
Yeah,
because that's what I feel like he thrived best in.
Right. So shout out to Miss Angie, because I feel like Miss Kim, like they kind of took the place of Big Mama, and so. But with that said, like it's not the same, and it's one of those things to where we have a whole generation of people that moved away from their support system because we know now that we can do it on our own. But in doing it on our own, we come to find out that we lose that village. So when we talk to people of Latin descent, we talk to people from other like Eastern countries where they value family so much, and even if you go away, you better come back. It's like now I understand why their parents were so big on go but come back, right? And and I'm not saying that my parents weren't big on come back, but it's just like for us, it was like no, I'm not going there.
Oh, I specifically remember when I was getting ready to graduate, right before we got engaged the day of my graduation, because I had to scoop me up quick before I found somebody else. But my mom was telling me like, you can come back home, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. Like, I was so sure about it. It was almost like on, what's the movie? Not Us. What's his other movie? Get Out. Where she's like, I can't give you the keys, right? Like, I'm not coming home, right? Yeah. Not even an option. Yeah. But if I knew then what I know now, it's like it took me experiencing being away to realize what all we miss out on. Because, my grandma had 10 kids. My grandma on my dad's side had 11 kids. They had grandparents for their kids like next door, for sanity purposes. It's hard. It is hard to only talk to kids all day long. Right. So,
which is why I feel like we have some friends here in town that have they have a farm, and majority of the family lives on this farm, and I'm like, yo, that's the perfect situation. Like, all of you guys are right there, your kids roam through all of these acreages, but everybody is right there. So it's like for me, that's what I would love to have one day. I would want a big farm. I can move all the family out. Everybody still got their own space. Everybody got their own.
Yeah, like call before you come over, but like be there. Because, especially think about when I was in labor. I almost gave birth on the freaking kitchen floor because my parents are 2.5 hours away, which doesn't seem like long until there's a snowstorm in March, So it's hard to not have that.
Yeah. So anyway, just the whole support system, it's needed in order to grow your family past a certain point. And not just financially, not just emotionally, but just to be there physically. Sometimes it's just needed. But yeah, so those are like a couple of reasons why I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't. Which is why, but when Vivi is up at 2-3 in the morning, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, I am done.
And like, if he would have told me he was going to schedule and get one, like the day he went back to work when I was a week postpartum and I was getting up the next day, Vivian was up all night. I couldn't stand up and rock her because I was still in a lot of pain. LB, I got her down at like 5. LB woke up at 7. Like, I was really struggling. And those are the times that I don't want to repeat. But now, like, I don't know. My midwife was like, nobody ever decides in the delivery room how many kids they're going to have. And I feel like that kind of extends to the whole 4th trimester. And I just can't say for sure that I'm done. I can't say for sure that I wouldn't regret it. But then again, maybe I can't say that, but in 18 years, when we free, woo!
Listen.
Yes, Lord.
So
we tell them, y'all can't come back because we ain't going to be here. We're going somewhere else, traveling, living our life.
The reason why Tara blames Vivian on me is because she told me she wanted to have another kid eventually. But she was like, we should wait until September, October. And I'm like, nah. So I was just like, you know what?
This was something we should have decided together.
We did decide this together.
No. No.
It was not on purpose. It was not on purpose. Her period really did skip a week, and it was
a little early.
off. It was off a week. Her ovulation was off a week, but honestly, like when as soon as you was like, I'm pregnant, I was like, thank God we can start this last 18-year clock. Get out of. I'm so ready. I've been a parent my whole adult life.
See, yeah, that's the other difference too. Like, I mean, I've kind of been a parent my whole adult life, but not really.
Yeah.
Not like we got married when I was 21. You had a Layla when you were
19, going on 20.
Yeah, but we were 22. I just turned 22 when we got married.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I did not have that same experience of like, man, I never got to live like.
And it's not like I never got to live my life and be free, right? Mm-hmm. But it's one of those like, look, I'm ready. Not that I'm ready to be selfish. I'm just ready to be
selfish.
Done.
Okay.
Like I'm ready to just have. I'm ready to have self-sufficient kids where we can just go and enjoy our lives.
And we were watching Aladdin this weekend with LB, and LB wasn't watching it, but we were enjoying it. And I told Brian, like, I feel like Genie, where he's like, it'd be so nice to be free and not have to say, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Like, that's me all day. Like, they are so dependent. But at the same time, it's like every day it gets a little bit easier and a little bit harder for me to say, I don't want anymore. Because as hard as it is, as exhausted as I am, as much as I wish that my mom was here or that your mom was here or somebody was here to help me, like, I still love being a mom. Yeah. And I still love the kids so much.
Yeah. So.
And then when Alayla's here, it's so easy. That girl comes down, makes her own sandwich, pours LB a bowl of cereal. He follows her around. He talks to her some instead of just me all day. So you're going to have to get it done before she comes, because then I'll be like, this is easy.
I think I'm done. I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Okay, Shorty Love. Done at all.
I'm done. I'm so done. But anyway.
He is so done, but there's no appointment set.
Right.
And I feel like there's something holding you back.
There is. And it's the fear of... it's the fear of what I talked about. So, I don't know. So where we go from here, I am going to start making some phone calls this week about the procedures, what needs to be done beforehand.
And I feel like one thing that, and I know you hate this advice, but I do think we can just pray about it.
That scares me.
I hate worst case scenario. Like literally, what could happen other than we pray about it, and then Vivian wakes us up at 4 a.m. and we'd be like, "We hear you, God." Getting that done. I do think there's something more than that holding you back. Because even before.
And then I'd be thinking about, well, let's say I do get the vasectomy. I've met 2 people. I can name 3 people that were born after their father had a vasectomy.
You know why? Because I can name 3 people right now whose husbands got a vasectomy and didn't go to that follow-up appointment to make sure that there were no swimmers. Because y'all be acting crazy. So you will definitely have to go to the follow-up. You can't just be like, yeah, I got that done. I'm good. No. Get the follow-up stuff done. Go back to the doctor.
I didn't even know there was a follow-up.
Yes. They take a sample and make sure no swimmers are getting through. And if you don't go to that, you could still,
Anyway, so I'm going to start making the phone calls this week. I am going to start pushing the ball forward on that this week. Just because but I'm so done. Guys, I'm so done having kids. Gosh.
Man, I didn't know you were that sure until now.
Viv sealed the deal today when you went to Target, and she was just like so mad. She was so mad, and I was like, "Yeah, this is it." So last time I got to do this.
I'm gonna pray about it because I know you're not gonna do it until I make you do it anyway.
No, I'm making more of a push now because we are starting to be more active, and it scares me. So
More active.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, child, because if I found out I was pregnant now, ooh.
Right? Ain't
Y'all
no
could just
way.
lock me up in the
Ain't
living
no
room
way.
because I couldn't.
I would never come home.
Shoot, I wouldn't either. I support you in doing what you feel like is best for your body.
Yeah.
And that is how it feels
And
to
I-
not be a Republican.
Out of respect for all of the efforts that you have made over the years and all of the babies that you have kept out of our lives, I am going to take this baton and I'm going to shut this shop down. And then we're going to be on
Flipping
vacation.
it all over, huh?
We're going to be on vacation 18 years from now. So Jim Carrey wrote himself a check. And it was like, when he first got started, he wrote himself like $1 million check. And on the date of that check, he landed his first big film. And he was actually able to cash that check. And it was good. I'm going to write us a check. And 18 years from now, I'm going to write us a check. And we're going to take that cash and we're going to go on
Put it
vacation.
right into Vivian's pocket because she's going to want to go to college.
If she does, then that's her decision. Then we'll talk about that one. That's another discussion, is college.
Yeah, because that ain't a requirement around here.
Nope. And if you ain't got no scholarship, then you don't want it bad enough.
Wow.
So,
Hey.
and I mean,
That was one we forgot to talk about.
Yeah.
That college.
Once again, this is out of the blue. Completely out of the blue. Why are they talking about vasectomies?
This is a real
and shooting
thing.
your shot.
There's a real thing.
We went from cleaning ladies to shooting your shot to vasectomies.
That was what was on the outline, so I thought that was
Yeah.
good.
Anyway,
All right, until next time.
you got your sign off yet?
I don't have a sign off. I just look at you when you do yours.
Peace, love, happiness.